All right, let's go through this 12-week SMART goals worksheet together. And just so I can show you how this kind of works, it's pretty self-explanatory, but just to make sure that you are getting this the right way and how we use it in our coaching business and for my clients, just to give you a little bit of a walkthrough here, okay? So the first thing that you want to do is have one main 12-month goal, okay? And the reason I do this and suggest this is because it just makes things a whole lot simpler to look at the big picture that you're going to be doing this year. And then we're talking about really like a business goal, okay? And in the example here I give you, there's like to have $1 million in sales revenue. And I want you to notice something here that I specifically said sales revenue, and I didn't just say make $1 million, okay? So that's a big distinction and a very big point that I want to make. So when you are doing anything in terms of goal setting, you want to be very specific about what you want to accomplish, just to make it easier for you to measure if you've got it done, right? And just to keep you on track so you know exactly what you're doing. So, and you'll see how this works out as we get further on into the PDF, all right? So the first thing that you want to do here is I've drawn out kind of a process map of how this works and how it looks. And so the main goal that you're going to have is, like in this case, let's say it's making $1 million, right? Then you have 4 major moves for every 12-week section or 12-week quarters. Like we basically do these on the calendar quarters, all right? And then those 4 moves, each one of those, like the 12 weeks, will have the deliverables, the deadlines, and the activities. And we'll get to this, I'll explain this to you. But that's your 12-week plan. So you're going to have 4 12-week plans throughout the year. And it's really cool the way that we do this. So that's kind of the overview of what we're doing here. So let's move on to, you've got your main goal, remember? So put that up there. And then what you want to do is brainstorm basically what those 4 main goals are, those 4 major moves that you need to do to make that goal happen. And in this case, again, I'm just going with the example of making $1 million here, right? My $1 million example of sales revenue. Then what I did was I wanted just to make this really easy, because the first thing I need to do is create a product. And then I need to sell that product. And this is, again, only a very simple example, okay? There might be more involved with this, but just to give you a simple example. So I want to create the product in the first 12 weeks, and then the remaining rest of the year, the 9 months that's left over, I need to sell $335,000 in the 12-week periods, right? And that is probably going to fluctuate. Let's say this all worked out. I waved a magic wand at the end of this year. It all worked out, and I look back and go, wow, this is cool. It probably wouldn't work like this, that I'd sold $335,000 in every quarter, correct? So, but I'm just giving you an example of how this would, play out. And that's kind of what we're doing here, is looking at the bigger pictures. And that's what you do. So write down your 4 major moves. And then what you're going to do is you're going to just transfer them to this page, and we're going to do a little bit of brainstorming here. So when you transfer to this page, what this is asking you to do is to highlight really which one you're working on. In this case, we'll just start with this one here, create product, okay? So let's say this is the first move that I'm making. This is the first 12-week plan that I'm making. What this is asking me to do is, what could I do in the next 12 weeks? Now, I know that I got to make a product. That's my big 12-week goal, right? And so, but because we're entrepreneurs, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we could be doing and we're thinking about doing, or we get distracted and all this other stuff. And then it's probably swimming around in your head right now too. So you might want to just put that stuff down here. And this is a brainstorming exercise. So just jot down everything that you think that you could do, even if it's not related to the major move that you're doing. In this case, move number 1, okay? And that's just to get things out of your head. And it just clears the space for you to do the next piece. So if this box isn't big enough for all the stuff swimming around in your head, just go to a separate piece of paper and jot down everything. Once you have all this, then I want you to look at that list. And I want you to then say, okay, well, out of all of this stuff that I can do, which are the top 3, if you're going to do 3, which are the top 3 that relates to the move that I'm doing over here? In this case, create a product, okay? So what are the top 3 action items that will have the greatest impact on your business. And this is based on that first move. So first you're going to dump everything in there, and then you're going to say, okay, well, what are the top 3? And I'll give you an example here. So using my example, my main goal is 1 million in sales revenue, right? And I just wrote a couple of things down here that I could be doing, and I just give you some example. I could have went on forever here, but I could create more YouTube videos. I could launch a podcast, shoot live Facebook videos, create a mastermind, build my Instagram channel, go to marketing seminars, take a vacation, write an ebook, write a real book, like this kind of stuff, right? It just goes on and on and on. And then when I look at that, if this was the only list, there's a whole bunch more I could do here. But if this was the only things that I wrote down, out of these things, these are the top 3 that are going to impact my business based on the first move that I'm making, which is create a product, right? So I need to research the market for an email marketing product. I need to create the email marketing product, and I need to continue building my email list. Okay, so those are the 3 the 3 action items that I'm going to be doing over this 12-week period. And this is kind of where all the magic happens. This is where the focus begins to happen. This is what I do as a coach. When I'm looking at you as a coaching client, let's say, then I would do this kind of exercise with you, and then we would narrow down what it is that we're trying to do over the next 12 weeks. Sometimes this changes. Sometimes, it's not the right things, and, that's why you need outside help, in my opinion, is get a good coach that can guide you with this kind of stuff. And then, you pivot, you make things change. But at least when you have this down in paper and you've got some sort of plan moving forward, it allows you to, again, see, is this the right move? Am I going the right way? Is this the right thing I should be doing? Because you've got a plan in place. If you just wake up and kind of go, what am I going to do this week? That's not a plan. And that's kind of what we're trying to get away from, okay? So this is the most important step, is number 4, is when you take those 3 things right up here that you're writing down as the main action items, and you're going to break those down into tactics. All right, this is the main important step. And I won't go through all this. You can read this on your own. But what we do is, I've got an example here to walk you through, is we take those 3 things, and here they are. We pick them up, and we put them into the top of the chart, because you've got a blank one down here, just by the way, okay? And so what you do is you write those down just so you know what you're doing. And then each of those are the goals for those 12 weeks. Here's where the important part is. This is where you're going to spend most of your time doing this. And it could be this whole thing just, take an hour, really. It shouldn't take you that long if you're really focused on this. And I don't want you to freak out to, try to get this exactly right, because things will change. But it's the starting point, and it's very important. So let's say that the 12-week, again, our research market for an email product, create an email marketing product, and then increase my email list by 200 people. Now notice that I was a little bit more detailed about this. If I scroll back up here, you're going to see that I put down build my email list. So I see this a lot with people, that they just put in, well, I want to build my email list. And that's not specific enough, because if I put one person on my email list at the end of 12 weeks, that's building my email list, correct? So in reality, I kind of, reached the goal, but that's not really what I want. So I want to increase by 200 people, and it may or may not happen, but at least now I've got a target goal. So this is what I meant at the beginning of this video, of being very specific on what you want to do, okay? So then we break this stuff down, and we say, okay, well, research market for an email marketing product. Now, as I'm recording this, it's the beginning of the year and everything else, so this kind of works out really well. So these are where I'm taking the dates, and I'm saying, okay, well, what do I need to get done by what specific date? And so in this case, researching market, and there could be a whole bunch more stuff here, but I'm giving you these as an example, is, well, I'm going to go to Amazon, I'm going to pull out the top reviews. That's not going to take me very long. And because we're the first of the year right now, January 1st, I'm going to give myself to January 7th to do this. And then I'm also going to research email forums for the top problems people have. And I'm going to give myself to January 9th to do that. So you see, this here is really important, to give yourself deadlines, because this eliminates the Parkinson's law. If you don't know what Parkinson's law is, it's where if you don't have a deadline, if you give yourself infinite amount of time, you will fill infinite amount of time doing stuff. So this eliminates it. This gives you deadlines that you need to get stuff done by. Sometimes it won't work. Sometimes the deadlines, you'll have to extend the deadlines and stuff. But as you can see here, there's deadlines all the way through here, and it just makes you more productive. Okay, so those are the two, let's say, for the sake of argument, that these are the two research things that I need to do. But I'm also working on other things, which is creating the email product, right? So after I've done here, you can see here that create mind map brainstorm for the product modules and lessons based on the research. That's by January 11th. Because as you see here, I've done the research on these 2 days. So I can't create the mind map yet because I don't have the research done. So by January 11th, I want to have my mind map brainstormed and say, well, here's the modules or the lessons that people want to learn. These are the things that people want to learn. And I just want to have that kind of as a skeleton map based on what the research that I've already done by January 11th. And then I start filling that mind map in. Okay, let's say, pretend I've done all the research. Then I'm filling in the mind map with lesson data because, I've done what I had to do. That's going to give me, I think it's 2 weeks to do this. And I go in there and all I'm focusing on in those 2 weeks is filling in the mind map with lesson data, okay? And basically creating my course. And this is how I do it specifically when I'm creating courses. You could do whatever it is that you're doing. If you're creating a course and you're looking at this going, wait, what are you talking about? You might do it differently. You might have a Word document that lists out all the lessons and all that other kind of stuff. So whatever it means for you, I'm just kind of show you how I break things down. And then once I have that lesson data done, this is another week later, right? So it's saying, okay, well, a week later, this is, I believe, on the Monday, okay, I record the module training. And that's what I do. I give myself 2 days to record the module training. And then on the Wednesday, what I'm going to do next is record the module 1 training, and that's on January 29th. Sorry, it's going to be done by January 29th. So I'm starting this on the Monday. The January 28th, as I'm looking at the calendar here now, is a Monday. So I'm starting on Monday, maybe to record it, give myself an extra day. So by the Tuesday, January 29th, I'm going to have my module number 1 training done. And then January 31st, which is 2 days later, which is on the Thursday, it's still the same week here. If you're looking at the calendar too, when I'm looking at the calendar, right? It's the same week. I'm going to edit the module. So I'm giving myself a couple of days to edit the module. So I've given myself 2 days to record, 2 days to edit, and then on February 1st, which is that same week, I'm going to upload the module training to my Kajabi, which is where I put my stuff in. So you see, that entire week, from January 28th to February 1st, is 1 week. If you look at your calendar, you'll see I'm talking about that. I'm not lying here, based on 2019 data. And I'm giving myself, one thing to do, really, record the module, edit it, upload it, right? And that's how I'm going to record. And then I'm just basically going to repeat that. As you can see here, it goes to the February 5th, which is the week after. I'm starting again on the Monday. I'm giving myself a couple of days to record module 2. And if I had more room here, I just didn't do that. It would be repeated all the way through module 2, module 3, module 4, whatever, right? And that would break down, and it would help me build this product out every single week. Now there's snags here and there. There's a little bit of distractions here and there. Yes, it'll happen, but at least I've got a game plan. And that's really what I wanted to share with you in this video. Okay. So again, this is all happening while this is happening, but this is really a short one because it's already done. But if you notice, I'm increasing my email list by 200 as well during all of this, because really it's not going to take me the entire week to do these like 3 things, right? There's other things that I could be doing. And that's where the entrepreneur gets pulled away and gets, into all kinds of other things that doesn't relate to what they're really trying to do. So if you've got a game plan like this, it's amazing. So, January 15th, actually the due date is January 15th, where I'm going to create a lead magnet based on the research problems. So if you see here, right up here, January 11th, hopefully I'm not too ADD for you and bouncing around too much, but I've created a mind map this week. All right. So January 11th is actually a Friday. And then what I'm giving myself is a couple of days to create a lead magnet, which is right here, January 15th, which is by the following Tuesday. So over the weekend or maybe the Monday and that Tuesday, I'm going to create a lead magnet based on the problems that I found in this stuff up here, right? And then the next day, I'm going to build an opt-in page and a thank you page. I'm going to create an email sequence because this stuff doesn't take, at least me, it doesn't take me long to do. So I'm just saying, okay, here's the thing that I'm going to do. It's going to be due by January 16th. And then by January 18th, which is the Friday of this week, right? The Friday, I want to have my Facebook ad copy ready. I want to have the creative ready. I want to have the campaign ready to go because I want to launch the Facebook ad campaign on the Monday. Again, I'm looking at the calendar off screen here. You can't see it, but believe me, it's true. It's on a Monday, right? And so that would launch. My Facebook campaign would launch on the Monday. So I've done all the work here to build it, to get ready for January 21st, and then I'm just going to let it run. And then to increase my list, I don't have to do anything more. Realistically, if everything worked out as planned, I don't have to do anything more except monitor and adjust the Facebook campaign every single week. As you can see here, this is 7 days later, right? This is January 21st, which is a Monday, and then I wait another 7 days to let the Facebook ad do what it's got to do, and then I monitor it and I adjust it if I need to. And that would continue to go. I would duplicate this thing every single week until like April 1st, because that's like the next 12-week quarter, right? So hopefully that makes sense to you, and I just wanted to explain it to you, like how this is broken down. And this is really the main piece of it all, because now once I do this, once I spend an hour kind of, pre-planning what's going to happen, again, I want to just forewarn you that you're probably going to have to make adjustments throughout this. It's fine, but if you got it pre-planned, then my weeks are so easy. I just wake up and go, okay, well, here's what I'm doing this week. And if it's not working or I need to extend things, this again will adjust, and it's kind of a living, breathing document, and it works. So that's how the 12-week plan works. And this is, your I guess your skeleton here. You're probably going to need a whole bunch more of space. I just put this here as like a guideline. Don't use this space. That's why I put this over here. So you wouldn't use it. You need to use like a separate piece of paper and just write them down as goals. That's how I do it. And the last thing that I just want to share with you is this. This is the actions struggles list, because I know from coaching so many people, and even myself looking at the way things go, that there's going to be obstacles. There's probably obstacles right now. And so when you anticipate those obstacles that are in the way right now and how you're going to overcome those obstacles, it makes a whole lot easier. Because what I found was after, like I would do, or I still do them, but we would set goals with my clients, and then at the end of 90 days, I would look back and say, okay, well, how come you didn't get all this stuff done? They would give me this stuff. They would give me obstacles or reasons and struggles, and I never really was looking at them ahead of time. And again, we can't anticipate everything, but they knew a lot of the obstacles were already there. And so I never really had them, project them or look at them at, as face value and say, well, here's what I'm going to do about this. And so this basically puts you in a position that you're in power and say, well, I know that whatever it is, like I know that I need to make extra money or whatever, right? You can put all that stuff down and say, here's how I'm going to overcome these. And so this is just an extra little piece that will help you with the motivation and the persistence to get these 12-week goals done, okay? Hopefully I explained everything right. I didn't lose you because I'm ADD and I'm all over the place. I apologize for that. If you have any questions, just email me at joey@strategicbusinessacademy.com and I'll answer any questions you have about this. Good luck with this. This has changed the lives of all of my clients and how we do things, and it is very, very productive if you follow this plan. Talk to you soon.